Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot and I finally got my new computer. Now, those of you who are following the channel for a longer time will be aware that about a year ago I already replaced my back then RTX 3080 Ti with the RTX 4090, and that brought a really good frame rate boost in the initial moments, but all the time it was clear that I needed to do a couple more upgrades. Now, many of you already pointed out in the comments below that video that I really need to replace my back then i9 9900 CPU, and you guys have been completely right about that. Now, back then I didn't want to do it immediately because I wanted to spare a little bit of money to just have it available in reserves because of all the job change and everything that happened back then. But now I finally went for the completely new system. So what have I gotten then? Well, I just went all in and got the i9 14900K together with 48GB of Corsair DDR5 RAM and an Asus ProArt Z790 mainboard. Now, you can read all of that up in the system description if this just went a little bit too quick for you. Did I say system description? Obviously, I do mean the video description. Now, the results of the new system you can see on screen over here. Flying with a Phoenix 320 over Manhattan, and you can see it's really beautiful. Now, I have locked my frames out at 57. The reason for that is that my monitor can only handle a maximum of 60 frames, and the recommendation is to lock it a tiny bit below that, so I went for 57 over there. And that is what I get without any problem in pretty much any situation that I could bring my simulator into. Now, yesterday I already streamed from the new system on the Crosser Pond, and you could see how superbly it handled the 787 in a super busy London Heathrow. And if you just compare that to my previous live streams on the day in the life of a British Airways pilot, then you will without a doubt be aware of the immense improvements that I've gotten in performance. Now, I did do some testing without the frame rates locked, and it went all the way up to 111 frames, but I did figure I might just lock him in place over here because the access frame rate just can't be displayed on my monitor anyway, so I might as well save a little bit of computing power and thereby a little bit of performance and ultimately money. Now, some of you will be asking, okay, so why did I get my new system in 2 steps then, rather than just buy something altogether? And that's a very valid question. But as I already mentioned, back then I didn't want to spend the entire money at the same time, but I much rather figured, okay, I want to get some quick help first and just get a quick boost to my performance without having to replace the entirety of the computer, and that is what I did when I got the RTX 4090 first. I figured that the frame rate generation just gives so much of a boost over upgrading the CPU and everything else as well, that it's really worth it just grabbing the 4090 at first because it has the best immediate effect, and then go for the replacement of the CPU and the mainboard and everything that comes with it at a little bit later point in time. I do have to say, looking back, that this was the right decision to make in the end, because my system did run fine for another year or so, until ultimately I had to do the entire replacement. Now, I do have to say though, that even though I did run the 4090 for a while, when I first got it, I'm sure many of you are going to remember the video where I first talked about having the 4090, which was pretty much recorded in the same place where we are right now, over New York and flying over Manhattan. Back then I got really good performance out of it, in the region of about 80 frames, but during the year that followed, my frame rate slowly decreased to approximately 35 to 40 in the same region. So I'm not 100% sure of what caused that. I couldn't fix it with just a Windows reinstallation, so I am led to believe that it's probably the Microsoft Flight Simulator updates that actually caused quite a performance loss there for my older CPU model. But Nonetheless, with the newly upgraded system now getting very, very good frame rates over here, I do hope you can somewhat see it in the video as well, as I have set my recording software to 57 frames, but I have a feeling that Streamlabs doesn't record the generated frames from my frame rate generation, and for that reason I have a bit of a feeling that sometimes the videos do look more laggy than it actually does right on my monitor. But either way, I still have to play a little bit with my settings, both on the recording tool as well as on my flight simulator itself, in order to get the most optimal results. So I know a couple of you will be asking if I can share my graphics settings again, and I certainly will do that, but do give me a couple days, maybe a couple of weeks, depending on how my flying schedule turns out with standby duty starting tomorrow. So do give me a little bit of time in order to bring everything to a very nice state where I'm entirely happy with it, and then I am definitely going to share my graphic settings over here. In general though, they will be somewhere close to the default ultra settings. Now, people are also asking me whether I am using any other sort of graphics mods, and in fact many people just ask me which mods I use and not whether I'm using any of them at all. And the answer to that is no, I'm not using any shader mods or anything the likes. This is literally just the standard NVIDIA driver installation without any additional tweaks done. And this is the results that I'm getting with it. So this is actually what the default simulator looks like. I really have to say I am immensely happy with that. And I do have to add as well that I, to this date, didn't really see any entirely good looking graphic mods. So if you have any that you think I should try, then do let me know in the comments below. But overall, I have to say that I'm really happy with the way how the standard simulator looks like. Now, all of that said, all I can say is thank you guys so much for supporting the channel over the time, and I'm very much looking forward to hear your feedback on my new system. Thank you very much, everyone. I do see you all again on the next one. In the meantime, if you did like the video, be sure to leave a like and comment to let me know what you think of the system, and if you think that there is anything that I could upgrade in order to make it even better. With all of that said, thank you so much, and then I see you all again on the next one.